Hello everyone and welcome to the How Good Are. It's time to get started on characters that probably no one watching this video actually has. It's the Monogatari characters. I don't even have these characters, but we're gonna have to rate them anyway. And we're gonna start out with, well, let's just get the trash out of the way. It's worst to go. By the way, I said this a lot also whenever I talk about Monogatari characters. I basically show everyone how much I disapprove of certain characters. And Nadeko is like the kind of character, it's not just me saying that, she's kind of like she's basically Toka actually. I was about to say, she's actually kind of like Toka. She is like a very bratty, childish character. Who gets people in trouble all the time because she's just way too bratty about everything. But here's the thing. It's kind of not an in-joke or meme, but it's sort of like a known truth in the Monogatari series community that Nadeko is the most hated character, basically. Like, sure, she has fans, there's some people out there who like her, but if you like rated every character's popularity, she's just pretty far down, right? Not that many people actually like her. Anyway, getting to the actual player character that you can have in the game, I've seen her once. I've literally seen her only once on Japanese on some Mirrors team that had multiple Monogatari girls, and never have I seen her otherwise. Just too excited, too charged, so she's gonna probably try to get to Magia. She's indeed Magia type. Her stats are alright, pretty alright stats, nothing too bad. If you look at her personal, if you look at her connect, we see that it has damage up. Damage up is nice. And then it has some status effect on it. The good part is we have a level 2 status effect on here, and we have multiple status effects. Why are those two things important? So burn makes it so that enemies who are burning do of course take bonus damage from weak element. That will get important later as well. Thank you very much for the follow as well. While the charm, well, it stuns, but more importantly, having two status ailments on there also makes it so that in case the enemy somehow is able to resist one of these effects, maybe the other one will hit, making it more likely to get status ailments on the enemy, which will of course trigger added killers, and which will of course trigger, well, just the effect of being status ailment on them, which makes so they can't evade. Yeah, they can't evade if you have a status ailment on you. So that's why it's important, or not important, but that's why it's pretty nice sometimes to have multiple status ailments. So overall, it's a decent connect. It doesn't really have the flat-out full output numbers that some other Memorias, other connects might have, because you just have the 40% damage up, and the rest is all offloaded onto the status ailments. But overall, it's decent. It's a decent connect. Then we get to the Magia, which I suppose is sort of supposed to be the highlight of her, because she's a Magia character, and with her disc, she's not going to blast or anything, she's not going to hit hard with her disc, so she's going to get to Magia. It's attribute strength from damage to one enemy, and if you check back at her type, it means that she can destroy water types. So yeah, single tile water types can get absolutely destroyed with this Magia or the Doppel. What else does it do? It burns for 3 turns, yeah, that's quite alright, and it deals MP damage, which is useless in almost all cases. But hey, the burn damage is nice, so it does burn and a bunch of damage. I always say this, but I always think that Magia that just give powerful buffs or give powerful debuffs are usually better than Magias that don't. Because buffing your entire team is just so incredibly goddamn powerful. On a team that can use multiple Magia. Like when you're playing Magia characters, you're gonna play them on a Magia team. If you're playing them on a Magia team, you're gonna get a lot of Magias out, and if you can get a lot of Magias out, if those Magias have buffs on them, you can stack them, and that's when it gets spicy. Which is why when you have a Magia that basically just deals damage, and I guess the burn is nice, I gotta kind of get a bit wary and think to myself, oh, man, maybe if there was like a buff on it, maybe that would have been better. So about the MP damage, here's the thing, I'm gonna have to say this again because it's working at our active, it's also MP damage. Here's the thing about MP damage. There's not that many units in the game that even try to get to Magia, like as part of the main strategy, and I'm talking about like EX challenge quests or 100 Evils challenge quests. There are some characters that, for example, get like 10 MP per turn or whatever, or use Exaldis a lot on the enemy team so that they can get to Magia and kill you. But here's the thing, in PvE, when enemies use Magia, they're just trying to deal damage. They're usually not buffing, they're not usually using Magias to buff themselves really hard. Usually they're using Magias to try and kill you, which, if you get caught unaware by an enemy Magia, can be really devastating. But first off, this is on an attribute strength from damage Magia, so if you're using a Magia like that in any of these like EX or 100 Evils quests, that enemy should die. That enemy should just fall over dead, and not actually survive, right? Enemies that survive Magia like this, like super focused damage, are usually bosses with multiple tiles, and those don't have Magia, right? So first off, it's supposed to kill. Secondly, if an enemy is threatening to kill you with Magia, just use Meteor Rain, or, I know I keep using Meteor Rain a lot, just any Memoria that reduces enemy attack. Like enemy attack down Memoria already completely destroys enemy attack from Magia as well. So why take an entire unit for MP damage if a single Memoria can do that already, right? So MP damage, not really that important. It can be nice sometimes, but overall, this is not what makes a unit good. The Doppel, interesting enough, has a bind on it compared to Magia. That's interesting. Instead of burn, it curses. Hey, that's some pretty good stuff. Hey, that's some pretty good upgrade, actually. So we can see that it actually... Oh, and the MP damage 200. What's 200 MP? You can only get 250. So there's actually some good stuff on here. What up the Spirit Enhancement? Spirit Enhancement has Mana Spring added on here with 9 MP. And has, of course, the Anti-Magia Seal, and that's about it. The rest of the stuff in here is not actually that great. It's just some random bonuses that I guess are fine, but nothing too great. And the MP damage is kind of, like I said, already kind of useless. So overall, I guess you can take away from the SE that you have regenerate MP. And that's about it. Like, it regenerates 9 MP per turn. So if we now combine everything that we know about Nadeko, what do we see? Well, she's worst girl, story-wise, but as a gameplay character, I guess you can use her offensively as the damage dealer on a Magia team against water types. That's pretty specific, right? But if you actually do use her against water enemies with that attribute strengthened damage together with the burn, which further increases, like double dips actually with the attribute strengthened, then she will absolutely destroy water types. Like on water type Kimochi, you will probably see her being brought along now, even if there's multiple tiles now, since that one buff, that buff single target Magia. So since the single target Magia buff, a Magia like this will probably still be used even against multi-tile Magia, multi-tile bosses, unless you're hitting the damage cap. Then it might be an issue. But yeah, good for water type units as enemies. Otherwise kind of middle of the road, not that amazing, kind of meh. But yeah, at least just some uses. Next up, we have Senjougahara Hitagi. We have Crab. So Crab is a good character. She's a good character. She's basically Homura because she's voiced by the same character, and she's also Kudare slash Tsundere, and she's great. She's a Blast Gorilla. She was the freebie character. You just got her by playing the event, and I say playing the event. There was no gameplay event. There was no story. None of these characters have a Magical Girl story. There was no login story. There was no event that had story. No notes you could farm. There was nothing to this event. It was just gachas. However, there was actually, while these gachas were running, a sort of mini event where you just got Hitagi, right? Nothing too special about it. And you got her with 4 slots. Amazing. So you got her at 4 slots. She can reach all the way to 5-star. So she's a Blast Gorilla with somewhat decent attack. It's not actually that great. At least for a low-rated character that you got for 4 slots, she has decent attack, right? That's pretty good, right? If you want to have a freebie Blast Gorilla, doesn't get much better than this as a freebie Blast Gorilla at 4 slots. Well, what else does she have now that we're actually looking past that? Nothing too great. She has Attack Up Connect, which is fine. Poison is the worst effect in the game, probably next to Fog. Damage Cut, okay, sure, whatever. Magia, I mean, she's a Blast Gorilla, but hey, even if she's a Blast Gorilla, maybe her Magia is still really amazing, right? To sort of make up for the fact that it's really hard to get to Magia with a Blast Gorilla. No, it's terrible. This is actually just a terrible Magia. Just attack down on all enemies for 2 turns. Not even 3 turns, just 2 turns. And Skill Seal. Chance. Not even 50%. 45% chance to Skill Seal all enemies for 1 turn. How fucking terrible is that? Look at them. Look at the Doppel. The Doppel at least gets it to all, gets it 100%. Oh, great! You just have to get the Blast Gorilla to Doppel, so you can 100% Skill Seal. Skill Seal. Okay, and attack down still only for 2 turns. It's terrible. Spirit Enhancement. It has anti-poison and chance of poison on attack. Why? Chance to poison one enemy, why? Okay, let's ignore everything that is down here and just look back at the top here. Wait a second, she's a blast gorilla that you get for free. Oh, okay. Let's just focus only on that sort of bit of information because that's the best thing about her. I almost debated just saying that she's a free blast gorilla at 5-star that you got at 4-star for free, and then just moving on because there's not much else to her. But here's the thing: do you need more to her? Do you need more for a character to be good? In today's meta, yes, because Magia's characters have actually gotten really, really good, and Blast isn't meta anymore, so... What about a personal? It's decent. But you know what, we need more characters. Now, in today's meta, we need characters that are focused on Excel, that are focused on Magia. And that's why we got Hanekawa, the cat. We have Cat right here. She is lewd, and she also has 3 Excel discs, which makes her already pretty alright in any sort of Magia team. And the very least, indeed, BGC is right. Also, comes to or BGC. Senjougahara has an excellent voice actress. We see that because she's an Excel gorilla, that means she already has a bunch of usefulness to her, and I will actually tell you right now that when Hanekawa was first released, she was actually seeing quite a bit of action on many Magia teams. Like, she was used rather frequently on many Magia teams. That was pretty good. It was a pretty good inclusion to have. What else do we have? So, if we look at just her base stats, her HP, attack, and defense at 5-star, not that great. Pretty bad, actually. Pretty bad. But she's a support type, so supports get bad stats, right? That's usually what it happens. Like, if you just add all stats together and take the total stats, the most amount of stats usually are held by defense types and balance types, and then all the way down the list is support types, right? But here's the thing. With Spirit Enhancement, she gets a shit ton of stats. She gets over 3,000 attack from Spirit Enhancement. That's almost 50% more attack. She gains almost 50% more attack just for Spirit Enhancement. In fact, if you know the mathematics behind how damage is calculated, that's more than 50% damage actually that she gets just from Spirit Enhancement stats. That's kind of fucking crazy. So with Spirit Enhancement just from stats, that's actually kind of crazy. What about her personal? Wait a second. MPG up. This is just Iriachi's personal, which was only halfway decent, not actually that great. Her Connect, on the other hand, gives remove debuffs. That's weird. It gives attack up. Okay, that's something. And chance to burn on attack. Not that amazing. Not that amazing, but the burn, similar to how Nadeko at least makes it so that on one hand, of course, added healer, but more importantly, because it's a level 2 status ailment, it makes enemies take bonus damage from weak element. And if you're playing a Magia team, it's actually kind of important that you have something like this, because with a Magia team, you're using multiple turns to set up your stacking buffs on yourselves, maybe using some debuffs on the enemies. You're trying to set up for some really powerful bursts to like smack enemies down with Magia chains or with doppels and whatever you have to get these really big juicy numbers out there. And in order to get really high numbers, you kind of need to have at least some status ailments, at least for added killers or for the, of course, level 2, giving additional damage to weak element. So having that is nice, but overall not that amazing as a connect, mostly because they give quite a bit of a spotlight to the remove debuffs. Not that important, not that important. The Magia, however, look at that, attack down all enemies 2 turns. Did I just see that on another Magia already? More importantly, oh, what is that? What is that? Could it be that the main reason why she was played is not just because she fits really well into a Magia team because she's a triple XL gorilla, but because she removes granted effects, which can be removing enemy evade, removing enemy damage cut. Just these 2 effects alone already make it really important. Like, sure, if you're playing a Magia team, removing enemy evade is not going to be that important. It still helps though, and most importantly, the damage cut. Oh my god, removing damage cut from enemies that like rely on damage cut. Oh, so great. So I've even seen some of her against some Kimochi, because there were some Kimochi that buff themselves with damage cut, and like removed granted effects with this one. Oh, amazing. And guess what? She MP restores back, so she can use it again. Keep purging enemy of granted effects. Isn't that pretty good? So yeah, that's amazing. What about her doppel? Her doppel Yeah, get tagged down, sure, still only for 2 turns, why not more than that? Doesn't actually do anything else more, like a double is actually kind of terrible. Like, compared to her Magia, like compared to 2 Magias, her double is actually not that great. What about her Spirit Enhancement though? Oh, her Spirit Enhancement gives, well, I can already say her Spirit Enhancement is pretty amazing just because of the stats, but more so, gives MP gain up 10%. Oh, that's some good stuff right here. 17.5% Excel MP gain up. Oh, more good stuff. Oh, some good stuff right here. Really helping out on the MP generation. Yeah, skill quicken 10% because she's a support type, 50% Magia Seal. Okay, okay. 10% damage cut. Staying alive. Awesome. Magia Adept, good. The most important stuff, though, on this entire list is chance to burn an attack. Oh yeah, for 2 turns. So just by attacking while you're building Magia, you can already set up for bursts on enemies by inflicting them with burn. Oh, isn't that great? And it's for both 20%, which is more than what you usually get. Usually it's 15%, it's 20%, awesome. And also for 2 turns instead of 1 turn, awesome. And we have Argentones. I don't know. And, or Ardentness. This, I'm reading the kanji right now. Is this, or the katakana? This looks like Ardentness, not Argentness. Anyway, it gives attack up to self, more damage, and guaranteed burn on command. So if we just look at everything the Spirit Enhancement does, we can just look at the actual effect that it has on her character, and it's that she does a lot more damage. Way more damage. She can buff herself with damage. She gets the more attack from there. She gets to Magia faster. She burns enemies. Everything that she already did well in order to earn her spot, aside from the remove counter effects, she gets buffed really hard from Spirit Enhancement. So overall, she's now a pretty good Magia character. And if she was still available in some way or whatever, other than her original gacha, which was in 2018, which was 2 years from now, 2 years away from now, ago from now, she would probably be picked up by a lot of people because she's actually pretty good and also very sexy. But she's not available, hasn't been available for 2 years. But yeah, in case you have her at 4th slot for some reason, after all this time, she's a pretty good Magia character. She's a pretty good Magia character. Pretty awesome. As I hope you guys enjoy this, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time.